Okay, I just wanted to share something that's been really exciting in our journey at the Academy at the moment, and it's how we track progress in PE. To be honest, what was happening, and I was checking this over the last few years, was students were doing their work, they were handing it in to a member of staff. The member of staff would mark it, hopefully, quickly, but then it would sit on their desk, and then they would give it back to the student the next time they saw them. And they'd give them back a paper copy, and our students would invariably lose that paper copy, and we'd have to photocopy a new one. And there was nothing efficient about it. We know that feedback works best if we give that feedback directly on the back of the work being produced. Students can see the relevance in that then, and they can act on it, they can make the changes, and they can improve their work. But this wasn't happening. We were sort of finding, months later, students haven't actually even looked at the feedback, let alone changed anything. We've got quite a large department, there's 10 of us in the department, and we're all varying levels of ability in terms of using digital tech. However, we've all got iPads. So what I wanted to do was create something which would enable every single member of the department to consistently give feedback in an efficient way that would mean that the onus goes back onto the students to look at their feedback and act on it and do something about it. So this video is kind of just trying to show that slow, elongated process of getting feedback back to the students. So I looked at various methods. I looked at Evernote, I looked at different file sharing, things like Box, like Dropbox, but nothing was efficient, and I had to train the staff deeply into just how to use them. And I really wanted something that would just give that back to the students, to give them that. So, I'm going to talk you through the next bit, hopefully it speeds up a bit on the video. What are we going to do to improve that feedback process for students? We looked at Google Drive. Google Drive, as you might know, combines Google Docs and a Dropbox type sharing mechanism, and this is how we set it up. So this is how it looks on my iPad. So I set up a file which within that contained files about feedback and progress. Within each one of them was a further course module folder, and then within that a folder for each student. And that was just simply shared via email to every single member of staff. So this was set up in advance. The other members of staff didn't have to do anything, they just had access to it. So this is inside that file now. This is a student's folder, which again is just really simply shared with them via an email. We change it to they can view, because if they edit their own feedback, they tend to pass with flying colours every time. So this is just set directly for them, so only those students can see their feedback. So now when a student hands in their work, all I need to do is go onto the feedback forms, fill it in, and the student sees that instantly. They get live updates of their feedback. So all our conscientious students, as we know, want to change everything about their work straight away. And now they've got no excuse, because they can actually see what they need to do. So this is just an example of one person's feedback on their work. We did the same thing, though, for their progress in their work. So we looked at how can we show them what bits of criteria they're missing. If you're familiar with the BTEC course, it's pass, merit, distinction, P1 to 7, and so forth. So we wanted to track exactly what it is they're doing. So we put an overall tracking sheet. This tracking sheet showed what their final grade was for each module, so you can see exactly what each student has achieved. And this is a prerequisite of the verification process of BTEC anyway, so it wasn't duplicating anything we had to do. And then there was an individual tracking sheet which would show what students have achieved and what they're still missing. And that had a massive impact as well. So now the process, while students hand in their work, they give it to us. We wrote a policy that the students were aware of that would say you have to give them their feedback within 1 week. And I, as I was the lead OB, not anymore, can see that students are getting that feedback straight away. So it kind of made that a lot more transparent on our part. The added benefit of it, though, was as a group of educators, we could all see the progress of every student in our course. I wasn't now responsible for just my class. I could be responsible for every BTEC student. And every other teacher could be the same. So when a student was trying to find me in the corridor and they could actually go to any member of the PE department to find out what was needed to improve their work. And it's transformed everything. The students are just doing fantastic work in their lessons now. They respond well to their feedback. Their coursework is up to date. There's no more falling behind. They can go to coursework catch-up sessions. And anyone can do it, because we all know what they need to do. So that's it for me.